All right, y'all. Been a personal trainer for 10 years. Let me explain to you why most people will always be fat as shit. All right. People will never lose their belly fat. And these are the main reasons why. All right. I've been doing this for a minute. All right. So, I heard every fucking excuse. One of the main reasons people don't make progress is because they believe in their excuses more than they believe in their vision. Right. So, if someone wants to lose 2 inches off their waist, 4 inches off their waist, 6 inches off their waist, and they want to lose that belly fat, they believe in their PCOS, or they believe in, well, I just can't lose weight. It doesn't work for me. They believe in that so much that they end up self-sabotaging. All right. Because a lot of this shit is mental. Like when I see people who are like, yeah, bro, like I have bad genetics. Like I've tried everything and I'm not losing fat. I'm like, whatever you tried. They tried everything, right? They tried a bunch of shortcuts, but since they were shortcuts, they never stayed consistent with it. So someone might've tried, fasting for a couple of days, and then guess what? They lose weight, then they gain it back because they weren't actually addressing the issue, which is their base nutrition. Because the reality is, when you ignore the only thing that works, when you ignore calorie deficit, when you ignore strength training, you won't be building muscle and losing fat. You'll just be losing water weight and gaining it back. That's what most people fucking do. Another reason most people will never be lean, most people will never lose their fat, is because they chase instant gratification. Like I said, they have shiny object syndrome. Yesterday it was keto. Tomorrow it's going to be 24-hour fasting. Tomorrow it's going to be 3-day fasting. That's a great way to lose water weight and some muscle. But guess what? As soon as you eat, you're going to gain that shit back. That is not addressing the problem, which is eating healthy consistently, eating in a deficit to lose fat, and then eating at maintenance when you lose the fat that you need to lose, but eating healthy overall. It's not addressing the issue, all right? Or people will be like, yo, let me try this. I'm gonna try this, man. I'm gonna do upper lower. And then they're like, you know what? I don't know if upper lower is the best way. I read an article that said I should only work out twice a week. Then they work out twice a week. They do full body twice. And they're like, nah, I read an article that said bro split. Then they changed the bro split, shit like that. All right. They're not consistent with one thing. If you're not consistent with something for at least 6 months, you're not gonna see the fucking results. So if you're not doing upper lower, you're not doing push pull legs, for 6 months, if you're just switching from upper lower to Pilates to, maybe you're doing a P90X DVD or some shit like that. I've had people who would just switch in between, and then hit me up and be like, I'm not seeing results. And I'm like, you're not doing anything consistently enough to see results. All right. When you switch from thing to thing, it's trying to be the master of everything instead of, if the master of all is the master of none. I know you guys have heard that quote, and Bruce Lee's quote about he fears a man who's done one kick 10,000 times, not the guy who's done 10,000 kicks once. And that's the same concept. Like when you're constantly strength training and you're eating in that deficit, you're going to compound those results over time, right? You need that patience. That instant gratification kills way too many people. You need to delay gratification. This journey teaches you how to delay gratification. If you're unwilling to delay gratification, you are guaranteeing that you will not see results, because all that fat that you have to lose, it was gained because you ate like shit for so long. All right. And that brings me to the next thing. Most people don't realize how much they were eating and how bad their habits, were to get them to the point that they're at. Everyone thinks that they got fat overnight or they gained weight overnight. Nobody could gain fat overnight. That shit takes hard fucking work. All of you guys that get to 40%, 30%, 20+% body fat, for the fellas, if you're getting 20% body fat plus, that took a lot of work. That took being in a surplus for a long period of time, skipping the gym for a long period of time, not moving for a long period of time, eating mostly sugary foods, eating fat food, eating fast foods, right? Binge eating hot dogs at 3 p.m., which is fucking crazy to me. People do it at like baseball games, I guess. Just crazy shit like that. It took years of doing that to build that up. People don't realize the power of the compound effect. So it's been 5 years of you eating in a surplus, right? It's only a 300 calorie surplus. But guess what? After 5 years of you being inactive, you building up that insulin resistance, you put on 60 pounds of fat. You see what I'm saying? So now you got 60 pounds of extra fat and you're like, dang, man, it happened overnight. No, motherfucker, you've been eating like shit for 5 straight years, all right? And until you realize that you're the problem and it took you time to gain that fat, you're not going to give yourself enough time or be patient enough to give yourself that grace to lose that fat, because you guys are impatient, right? Most people are just impatient when it comes to losing fat. And I'm just looking at them, I'm like, hey, man, like I got a lot of high school classmates that are fat as shit now. And I've been watching their stories for the past, 10 years. They've been watching my stories for the past 10 years. What have they seen in my stories? It's going to be some kind of protein shake. It's going to be a client result, or it's going to be me with the post-workout selfie, right? And they want to lose weight like immediately, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to eat healthy. And they post like some healthy shit in their story. And I'm like, that's the first time they post healthy shit in their story. In 10 years, it's always been liquor and a big ass plate of food for the past 10 years. And I've been seeing them gain 10 pounds, which is not a lot for a year, right? But then after 10 years, that's 100 pounds. So I've seen them gain 100 pounds in the past 10 years, past 11 years, right? And, now they might have a few pictures of them in the gym. They're like, I need to lose this weight by next week. And then after that 1 week of posting the gym shit, they stop again because their expectations are unrealistic. Stop putting those unrealistic expectations on yourself. All right. That's like saying, oh, I want to gain 100 pounds of fat in 1 month. It's not going to happen. It took you 10 years. And now you want to lose 100 pounds of fat in what, 2 weeks? It's not going to happen. You want to bounce back to your high school physique in 2 weeks? You have to change your habits long term. And that brings me to the most important point out of all of this. In reality, when push comes to shove, people aren't serious enough about this. That's number one. But also, they don't want to change their identity, because when it comes to being lean, hey man, you might have to skip that margarita on the weekend, right? Or those 3 margaritas on the weekend. You might have to stop going out to eat so much. You can't pick up Chick-fil-A on the way home because you feel like you deserve it after work. You can't have that late night snack or that Ben & Jerry's because you feel like you deserve it. Those things you got to cut out. People don't really want to do that. They can do that for a week or two, right? And they're like, well, I cut it out for a week or two. Why am I not seeing results? Because you did it for 10 years straight, right? When you're shifting your identity, you don't say dumbass shit like that. You don't say like, oh, how do I not get fat on Thanksgiving? You're thinking lean. You're not going to get fat on Thanksgiving, right? Food doesn't control you. You control what you eat. You see what I'm saying? You see food as fuel, all right? And when you change your identity completely, you realize that the gym is for building muscle, relieving some stress. It's not to burn calories. You don't go to the gym to burn as many calories as possible. You go there to build muscle, because the more muscle you have, the better your body composition, the better your joint health, but also the faster your metabolism in the future. That's number one. And you go there for stress relief and improvement, mental health, all that stuff, right? And then you realize that nutrition is fuel, all right? It's literally preventative for type 2 diabetes and all that other shit, all right? It's very, very important. Sleep apnea, all of that. That's what nutrition is for. And it is the main driver behind you getting lean. Not a fad diet, right? You're not eating healthy for a little bit and you're trying to see results by next week. You are eating healthy for life. It is a lifestyle. That's what people don't want. People don't want it to be a lifestyle. They want to get the results now so they can go back to eating what they were eating before. That's why when people get liposuction, right? Because I've had a lot of ladies, they get liposuction, and guess what? They gain the fat back because they never change their habits. It's a temporary fix, right? If you want permanent results, you can't do temporary fixes. You have to do permanent fixes. It's that simple. I've had women come to me like, oh my God, like I got liposuction. Why did the fat come back? Because you ate like a fat bitch, and that's why you're a fat bitch. Like, it's that simple. It's not that deep. It's that simple. You eat more than burn, you gain fat. Understand? You eat less than burn, fat loss, me lean. Like, it's not that fucking deep, all right? So until you guys focus on that and you stop saying this dumb shit like, well, what if someone has this, that? You don't have that and you're fat, but that's because you overeat, all right? Well, what if someone has a genetic condition that no one else has? You don't have that, and most people don't have that. Let me be honest with you guys. Everyone I've trained, they never have any significant metabolic issues or anything. Guess what the main issue is? It is their mindset, all right? It is their lack of self-accountability, all right? And once they change those things, guess what happens? They start to see results, they start to get lean. It's that simple. People don't have rare conditions. Everyone wants to have a rare condition, right? Everyone has the same rare condition. If everyone has the same rare condition, then it's not a rare condition, all right? And someone's, either the stats are lying or you're lying. Usually it's the person lying. They're like, no, I have this one condition where I can't lose fat if I, no. All you have to do is be in that deficit. The issue is after like a couple of weeks of being in a deficit, and you're gonna lose like 2 pounds of fat, you know what I mean? You're gonna get a hunger pain here or there. People don't like that hunger pain. They don't like discomfort. They wanna be back in their comfort zone, so they quit. All right, so like I said, that is what I've seen from the past 10 years of being a trainer. If you find this offensive, then I'm probably talking about you.